Companies Act, Section 330, Transfers of entire property to trustees for creditors to be void. Section 330 of the Companies Act, 2013 addresses the invalidity of a specific kind of transaction that a company might attempt when it is facing financial difficulty or insolvency, namely, the transfer or assignment of all of its properties or assets to trustees for the benefit of all its creditors. This provision renders such a transfer void in law, thereby protecting the rights of creditors and ensuring the winding up process follows a fair and orderly legal framework under the supervision of the tribunal and in accordance with the prescribed insolvency or liquidation procedures. 1. Nature of the prohibited transaction. This section applies to any transfer or assignment made by a company of all its properties or assets, whether movable or immovable, tangible or intangible. The transfer or assignment must be made to trustees, and the stated purpose of the transaction must be to benefit all creditors of the company collectively. 2. Why such transfers are rendered void. The law prohibits companies from bypassing formal legal mechanisms such as tribunal-supervised liquidation or insolvency processes by directly handing over their entire assets to trustees to distribute among creditors. Such transfers can disrupt the legal order of priority of payments, example, preferential debts under Sections 326 and 327. Bypass the oversight of the company liquidator and the tribunal. Lead to unfair treatment of certain classes of creditors, particularly if the terms of the trust are biased or not transparent. Enable the company to avoid scrutiny over its financial dealings and potential fraudulent transactions. 3. Effect of the provision. Any transfer or assignment of all the company's assets made for the stated purpose is deemed void ab initio, meaning it has no legal effect from the beginning. Creditors cannot claim rights under such a trust, and trustees cannot legally act to distribute company property. The company liquidator, upon commencement of winding up proceedings, can reclaim all such transferred assets and administer them as part of the formal liquidation process. The tribunal retains the power to enforce the return of assets and set aside such void transactions. 4. Applicability in context of winding up. This provision becomes particularly important when a company is on the brink of insolvency or winding up and attempts to take actions outside the scope of legally established procedures. It ensures that the distribution of assets during insolvency or winding up occurs in compliance with the established provisions of the Companies Act or, where applicable, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, 2016. 5. Distinction from lawful assignments or settlements. Section 330 does not prohibit all forms of asset transfer by a company. What is void under this section is the transfer of all the company's assets, for the sole benefit of all creditors, and to trustees, instead of under judicially monitored procedures. Regular commercial transactions, partial transfers for value, or payments made in accordance with court-approved arrangements are not covered under this section and may remain valid. 6. Illustrative example. Suppose a financially distressed company attempts to transfer all of its business assets such as factories, inventory, bank balances, and receivables to a trust formed by a group of creditors with the aim of settling dues informally. This entire transfer, even if agreed upon by most creditors, will be rendered void under Section 330. Instead, the company must undergo formal liquidation or resolution under the Companies Act or Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, where all stakeholders, including minority creditors, receive fair treatment under law. 7. Objective of the provision. The intent behind Section 330 is to prevent unauthorized or extrajudicial settlements that could undermine the rights of certain creditors or shareholders. Maintain transparency, accountability, and legal order during insolvency and liquidation. Ensure that asset distribution is conducted under judicial supervision, according to lawfully established priorities and procedures. For more details, contact us.